Hello and welcome to another edition of Faye Fitness Office Workouts. Today we're going to be starting a new series which is very near and dear to my heart and talking about kickboxing. So even though I have a heart condition, I still really love taking kickboxing classes. And so I thought I would share all of that with you and just go through some of the basics and kind of acquaint yourself with what is kickboxing and how to do it. So in this first episode, we're going to keep it really short and sweet and just talk about the positioning of the body and your pose, which may seem easy for some and a little bit more strange for others. So when you're kickboxing, rather than standing straight ahead looking at your opponent, you actually want to be at an angle, and that's so you're less of a target. If I'm approaching you, say we're in an argument or in a fist fight, and I approach you like this, I'm actually a nice, wide, big target. However, if I approach you at an angle, most of your hits will, hopefully in theory, shear off of me. So there's less of me to interact with. Now, we also don't want to be at a complete angle because then you're just not getting a good range of motion with your limbs or even your legs when we get to that segment. So for most kickboxers, what you want to do is keep your body at an I'd say a 45-degree angle. So imagine you're standing on a square box, and I will insert some footage of what my feet are actually doing. So the best way to think about it, and this is what my Sifu has taught me, is to start out with your kickboxing, is to move your shoulders back at that nice 45-degree angle, and then for your feet, put one foot behind the other like you're standing on a balance beam, and then move that back right foot out. So your left foot will always be in front. It doesn't matter if you're southpaw, left-handed, or just regular right-handed. You always want to have your right leg in the back and your left leg forward. And so especially if you're just starting out, it doesn't matter if your leg is a little bit back farther or you have a more wide stance. And again, I'll show you some footage of the footwork, but you don't want to have your feet too close together because then you're a more top-heavy target, and you don't have that good, nice base foundation for your feet. So you have this nice 45-degree angle, and the second thing you want to remember is to always keep your hands up by your face. The head is obviously the target that most people are going to want to hit, because if you can pop someone in the temple, the nose, or the jaw, especially with some force behind that punch, they're going to be down for the count. It's not going to be a really pleasant experience to get hit in this area. The second area where most people are going to hit is the abdominal area, just because it's an easy target. So the second thing you'll want to think about is your posture. Now, I work in a doctor's office, so we always encourage people to have nice, great, straight posture. That's not what you want to do for kickboxing. You actually want to be kind of hunched forward a little bit. I don't know if you can tell with my cardigan here, but you actually want to be a little bit more forward, and that is so this forearm can cover as much real estate as possible. You want to cover as much of your face and abdominal cavity as you can without being all scrunched over and losing a lot of your range of motion and movement. So rather than a nice straight posture, just kind of curve your back a little bit, tuck your stomach in, tighten those muscles, and that way you have this nice barrier between you and your opponent. So this is kind of what it's going to look like from the side. So again, I'll go to the side so you can see nice straight posture, curve it over so you have that nice curve to your back, and then the curve to your stomach cavity. Okay? And always with your hands, you want to keep them again in front of your face. So probably you can't see what I'm saying, so I'll move forward. This is bad posture, but just remember. And you always want to have your pinkies facing your opponent and your thumbs facing your face. So just like this, what I did in the beginning just to help remind myself is I kept my pinkies up, especially when I was shadow boxing at home. That way I would remember, oh right, pinkies go that way. Okay, so now we have some good posture down, and I'll go ahead and insert some videos of the feet and what you should be doing with them. And that's all for part one. Stay tuned for part two, where we'll go into our 1-2 punches. and have a great day.
Okay, guys. So this will be the segment where I talk about footwork. So as I was mentioning before, your left leg always wants to be in front and your right leg always wants to be back. So think about yourself standing on a box. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So your left foot is always this top left corner and the right foot is always this back right. So what I was saying earlier about the balance beam is go ahead and put one foot in front of the other, both toes facing forward, and then like you're on a balance beam, and then step about hips width apart, and that's how your feet should look. We always want both toes going forward. Feel free, if while you're new and just starting out, to go ahead and widen your stance if that makes you feel better. I mean, you can even go wider than hips distance apart. If that just helps you feel more stable, go for it. But eventually we'll definitely want to be in this nice hip range, so hips distance apart. The thing that we want to avoid is having your feet like this or permanently one foot behind the other, because you're top heavy and you don't have a really good support foundation underneath you. So if someone hits your face or your abdominal cavity with some force, because you're not on this good solid foundation, you're going to topple over and be a little bit more unstable on your feet. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below and I will answer them as best I can. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.